it's Aura and welcome back to my channel for another bullet journal video. And today we have a custom bullet journal setup, and it is for the month of January. And a heads up, this is a French bullet journal that I did, so if you do not understand what is written, it's because it's in French. And as I said, this is a custom order, and if you want to see all the close-ups of the spreads, you will be able to find them at the time written on the screen at the end of the video. So for this journal, I used a Lurtrum 1917 journal, and it is a dotted journal that I used, and this was my first time actually using one of those, just because it has a lot more pages, and to do a complete year into it, it was a lot easier, and I did not needed a second journal for the other half of the year as I usually need for my own journals. So that's why I used it, and it was actually a lot of fun using. And even though the pages are really small and really thin, they actually do not bleed, which I was so happy about. And for this setup, the theme is mountains, so that's what I did. And I'm sorry I didn't talk through what I did for the cover page, but basically I just did a circle, and inside of it I drew at the bottom some mountains, and then at the top I wrote January, and which I colored in blue, and I just did some snow effect or shadow effect on the mountains with a black pen. And now we are already onto the monthly calendar, which I just did my typical box layout, and I colored in on the left side of the page, on the left side of the boxes, a little rectangle, a little box actually, to put the name, the date of the days inside of it. I'm sorry, it's my third voiceover in a row, and my brain does not want to collaborate right now. This voiceover is all over the place. But basically at the top of each column from each I added a line of blue, and I added the name of the days, which obviously are in French. And at the bottom I added huge mountains, and the calendar was actually made with my Uniball pens, which are, I think I used the fine one and not the actual micro one for this specific setup. And to do the line art at the bottom for the mountains, I used Faber Castel Pitt artist pens, and I think I used the small one and the extra small for the detailing of the shadows. And for the blue accents on the spread, I used my Tombow dual brush markers, and if you're interested in those, I have an entire unboxing video on them on my channel, and I will be able to post it. I will put it in the little E up there if you're interested in that. And we are already onto the habit tracker, which in French we called it Checkup journalier. So if you want to learn a little bit of French with me, that means habit tracker or checkup, daily checkup, which is basically just a normal habit tracker. I did tiny little calendars for 5 habits, so 5 times the calendars, and I used my Uniball markers for those, and they actually work really well for that. The fine one, and not the micro one, but the fine one does smudge a little bit easier, which you might be able to see a little bit on the spread. I don't really know if I smudged on all of them, but some of them did. And then I added the little initial of the days at the top of every column, and on top of that just a line of blue so she can write which habits she wants to do. And then I just did the header, and then I did the mountains at the bottom, which is actually one of the themes that took me the least amount of time. And I'm sorry, I don't know why my AirPod is in here. Don't know what happened. Maybe it fell and I caught it or something. I don't remember. I don't think I already mentioned it, but this specific setup was actually filmed during the summer because I had to give this journal in August. So it was during the summer breaks that I recorded all of those. And those videos, all the ones with the really dark background, were actually all filmed while I was hospitalized for 2 weeks. I was in a rehabilitation center because I am paralyzed from the waist down due to a neurological condition, and I am not paralyzed for life. So that's why I went in this specific center to try and get some of my mobility back, and it did work. I was able to take my first steps in over a year, so I was very happy. And whenever I didn't have any sorts of therapies like physiotherapy or anything, I was doing those setups for this journal. It took me a really long time because it was a full year journal and my actually first ever custom order, and I was really happy to do it. And back onto the actual video. So this is the mood tracker, and I just did those little mountains kind of thing, and I cut them into small pieces to have for each one of the days. And at the bottom I added a key with 6 boxes for 6 moods. And then we are onto the playlist of the month, which is the same way in French, so you can see another word of French, but basically it's 4 rectangles for 4 songs for one each week of the month, kind of, so you can record what you are listening to during the month, which I think it's really funny to do. I actually love that spread, and I'm really thinking about putting it into my own journal, but I also think I wouldn't actually fill it up, so I don't really know. You guys can tell me if you want to see this when I do my own, so I would gladly do it. Just tell me if you're interested into it, because I don't want to do something if no one is interested in seeing it, and also if I am not gonna use it at all, there is no point in wasting pages for that. But we are already switching to the weekly spreads. I'm sorry if those are going super fast, but I have to fit in like 10 pages into 1 minute video, 20-minute video, sorry. So sometimes I have to put it in really fast speed. So for this specific weekly spread, I just have a line going all the way at the bottom, at the top of the page, sorry, and I just added some mountains on the top of that line, so it just looks like it's in the horizon, and I just love this spread so much. It's one of my favorites, and if I can find a theme that will work with it, I will definitely use this layout in my own bullet journal. And then at the bottom of that line, I have a column for each one of the days of the week, which means 7 columns, and I had some space to add a calendar at the left side of the page, which is one of my favorite things to do, just to keep track of the time And as you can see, I went in with some white marker at the end because I did have some smudge, so I had to clear that up so it wouldn't show up, because this actual journal has white pages, so whiteout does work really well with it. And for this second weekly spread, I have a layout that I learned to enjoy a lot doing those weekly spreads in this journal, because I had never done it for me before, and I realized that there's actually a lot of space to do whatever you want in it, and it's basically just lines, and then you have under that line for each day, and it's alternated between left and right, so it makes 2 columns but alternated, so you have a lot of space to write for each one of the days. And then at the bottom you have a huge space to draw, so I put a huge mountain at that space. And then on the right page, I don't know my left from right, so it's kind of messy for that. It's basically the exact same thing, and I have 8 spaces because one is dedicated for school. And then I just wrote on those blue strikes the name of each days in cursive, and I actually had space to write the full name, so it was really pretty and I loved it a lot. And honestly, this mountain theme is probably my favorite one that I've ever done, and I really wanted to do it for myself, and then I realized that it would be kind of boring if I kind of do the same thing, because I always record it, so it would be kind of boring, so I end up changing my mind. But for this next layout, I have a streak at the top, just a blue strike all the way through to add some color. And at the left side, there is a little box which you can't see right now, but with the week that it is, because I numbered all the weeks from 1 to 50, I think, around that. Because those are the week for school. And at the bottom of that week I have an event section for all the appointments and stuff, and it's just a column with 7, I'm pretty sure I did 7 lines going across to separate it, so you can have event from Monday through Saturday. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. Don't quote me on that because I cannot count right now, but I don't remember if I did the Sunday or not in it. And then I just have a tiny blue strike to write the first 3 letters of each day, and I have 3 lines in each page and 1 long one for the weekend going all across. And at the top I just had a little section for school, and I just decorated it with mountains, of course, and I just loved it. Honestly, that was a so lovely spread. And because this theme is kind of minimalistic, because there's not like a lot of doodling or everything, it just went by really fast to actually do it. So for this layout, I have 5 boxes all across, which are rectangles with rounded corners, and I just have them all across. And then I didn't have enough space to actually put a column for each day of the weekend, so I just did smaller boxes and stacked them on top of each other. And on the left corner I also have another box for school and a lot of space to draw mountains. I also have the week at the left corner, and basically that's all for this spread. It turned out really cute and there's a lot of space. I definitely will do that one in my bullet journal too, because I ended up loving how it turned out. and I just did the shading and then rounded off all the corners of the boxes. But that's it for this video. There's only the close-ups left at the end, and I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to check out the playlist if you want to see more of those, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!